Good morning, everybody. It's cold, it's wet. It just rained a few hours ago last night. But you know what? We're mowing anyway. I've got the ASV out here with the quick attach mower, and we are putting it to work in some really thick, heavy, and very wet grass. And I've got Sam with TriStar Digging here with me. He's getting some footage today also. I know he was just running his drone while I was cleaning up the ditch. I didn't film that because that's kind of boring, but I just got the ditch cleaned up. I'm gonna let him hop in the 120 and get some mowing, but I'm gonna show you guys what we're doing first. What's up, Sam?
I'm lost. I'm in South Carolina. I saw these pine trees. It doesn't look like East Tennessee, so I need directions.
There you go. So
or a job.
Huh?
Or a job.
All right, yeah. So you guys aren't familiar, this is Sam with TriStar Digging. He is a YouTuber also. You can go to his channel. I'll put a link in the description below. But if you guys like mulching and brush cutting and digging and all that kind of stuff, he definitely has a great channel. His content is really, really good. By the way, he does a really good job of making his content really, really good. And he just got some really cool drone footage of me doing the ditch over there. So go to his channel. But he just picked up a new little toy down here in South Carolina. What do you got, Sam?
I've got a Munchie's cousin, actually.
He's got a Munchie too. So this is the Prenoth M450E. This is a 900 too? Or just a 900. So this is the same one I've got, but you have the 46cc motor?
39.
Oh, you got the 39? Yep. They said that was okay?
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
Cool. So he's got the same size motor that I have, but you're putting it on a...
Cat 308.
Oh, sweet.
20,000 pound excavator, so should handle it pretty well.
Yeah, so that's about what, 60 some horsepower, 65 horsepower?
I forget what the net horsepower is. Actually, I think it is about 65.
Yeah, most of those 8 tons come in around the 60 horsepower. And that thing's putting out about 35 gallons a minute?
Yeah, on the auxiliary side, yeah.
Yeah, so that's about 15 gallons more than what my Kubota puts out. So this thing is gonna rip. So if you wanna see what a Munchie can do on an 8,000 pound machine, or not an 8,000 pound, an 8-ton machine, about 20,000 pounds, running 35 gallons a minute, you are about to find out, because this thing, that's what this is going on. This has got the new the rotor design with the new side cutter teeth over there, like the big Munchie has on the skid steer. I've got to change those teeth out on mine, on my little Munchie. They're about $130 a piece though, so I haven't quite gotten around to changing out those teeth. Just to put 2 of them on, there's going to be about $275 after taxes and whatnot, so hasn't been the biggest deal. But yeah, here's the lot we're doing. You guys are familiar with my channel. You've seen this lot quite a few times. This is the first time I've been over here with the ASV to mow it. So we're going from, this is the lot I mowed yesterday that you guys just saw. We're gonna go all the way around, all the way down to that corner. That's no man's land down there. From where those utility boxes are down to the corner, that's the no man's land lot. We're gonna be remowing that as well. I checked with the owner and it's not too badly grown up, but he wants me to go ahead and knock it down for the winter anyway. So we're gonna be doing all of this, be out here for a good little while today, getting this mowed out. So I'm gonna put Sam in the machine. I may get the drone out, follow him around while he's mowing, and we're gonna get this cleaned up hopefully today. Sam come by this pine tree. I got it on tape too. You went in on that tree and that branch went right in there and you turned and it snapped it right off. So have the drone footage I got. You got a big pine branch hanging off the back of the skid steer.
It was Christmas time, so I'm just trying to decorate it with some greenery, trying to decorate your
Someone's
machine.
gonna say something about that. It's gonna be hilarious. I didn't want to stop you because I was running the drone and I only got so much battery time. I was like, the heck with it, it's not hurting anything, you know. That kind of stuff happens when you're out in the woods with one of these machines. That's forestry, so.
And I couldn't see it either.
So no, you couldn't see that back there at all.
I'm just trying to dress it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what do you think so far? Give me your feedback on the 120, the cutter. What do you think?
I like it. The 120 has it's obviously a bigger machine than my Cat 259 skid steer, but the power is just limitless on that machine. It's just really impressive how much power it does. And you're right, it's a Cadillac ride. It rides smooth, really smooth. So it's longer than mine. And so the biggest thing I'm trying to learn is the tipping point, because I buried this baby up in the ditch down there a couple times because I'm learning that tipping point on the machine. So that's really very important, because you drive these machines, operate these machines really by the seat of your pants, especially a dozer. You drive by your tail, and you got to feel that until you learn the tipping point on that machine. It's a little difficult. But this machine, the quick attach brush cutter, I'm impressed with this. It does a really good job, especially on this wet, tall grass.
It's going right through it.
It is. It's doing a really good job with it.
And you can see it like in the drone, on the drone footage, because I'm coming in behind you. You can actually see it spitting those grass clippings out the back.
See, I can't see that. My vision's blocked, so I can't see how that's coming out. It does typically like my brush cutter does as well. It'll ball up stuff here in material, but this machine is just pushing on through it.
It's got that open back, all that stuff, and you can see it feeding out. The only downside to that, the only downside I can see so far is, and I'm okay with this because this is just part of forestry too. When all that stuff comes out the back, it goes right onto the machine. So it does leave your machine a little dirty here. But anytime you're running a brush cutter or a mulcher, you know, your stuff's gonna get caught up, you know, thrown up onto the machine's gonna get dirty. But that does seem to be, compared to the MTL with the closed back, that's a little bit more of an issue with that thing throwing stuff up onto the machine. But I'd say it's maybe, I don't know, 15% worse, you know, nothing like it's major, but that open back's going to cause a little bit more stuff. But I'm okay with that. If it keeps keeps you efficient and keeps that stuff from bogging down and balling up underneath the cutter, I'm totally okay with that. I feel like that's a fair trade-off for your efficiency side of it.
And the main thing is just make sure that since there is excess coming out of it, is make sure that you're not stopping up screens and filters in the back to keep the machine from breathing. So that's the biggest thing. Nothing a backpack blower won't roll off here, this stuff.
And honestly, being out here in the wet grass, I mean, we're going through it no problem, and you know, it's definitely not, I mean, when I cut that lot over there yesterday, it was dry, and the whole back of this thing was covered in these little fuzzies. I mean, the whole thing was covered. I mean, and it's got some on it, but we've been mowing for close to an hour now, and it's not that bad. And that's about how long I mowed over there in similar type material, and it was covered back there because it was a lot, you know, drier than it was today. So yeah, man, that's awesome.
Does this have a reversing fan so that when
okay. Oh yeah,
that's good. So the Cat has that too. If you don't know what a reversing fan is, when all that stuff gets built up on the screens, you can reverse the flow of the fan and it'll blow that stuff off. It looks like you're blowing a big dust ball out in the back of the machine when that comes on, but it's very, very important to keep the machine from getting too hot.
Yeah, I think it's got an interval in the computer where you can set the interval. The deer had that too. The one downside about that with the deer was, and this was a design flaw, and this one doesn't have it, but on the deer, when the reversing fan kicked in, there was no cooling going on. So the engine temperature and the hydraulic temperature would spike really bad when the reversing fan kicked on. So I had to actually turn it up to like where it would only reverse like once every like 40 or 50 minutes.
Oh wow.
Because it was on like every 10 minutes. So I'd be mowing or mulching, and then every 10 minutes, the hydraulic and the engine temperature would like spike up through the roof, and I'd have to stop. And so, but this one does it every, I don't know what it is, but it did it yesterday when I was letting it cool down for a minute. It turned on and it blew all those fuzzies out the back. So I don't know what the interval is on it, but it does it enough to keep it clean out the back. So
yeah, this is a powerful machine. It does a great job, that's for sure.
Awesome. Well, keep on keeping on. I'll get the tripod out and maybe do some time lapsing, but keep on keeping on, man.
All right, we'll do it.
that's that. It's a little after lunch. Sam and I went to lunch, and then he had to get out of here. He's got a pretty long drive back to Tennessee, but it was great having him out here. Want to thank him again for coming out and hanging out with me for the day. It was really cool. He got to run the machine up there while I was running the drone following him, which was really cool. So that helped me get some really cool footage up there. But yeah, all this turned out really good. Just got this bad boy blown off and cleaned up, cracked everything open on the back end, blew it out, blew out the air filter, got everything cleaned up. So yeah, so far I really don't have any real complaints with this mower. I'm gonna do a full review at the end of this before I send it back off demo. We'll go over everything on it, but man, this thing, it's really awesome. It is awesome. It went through that wet grass, and I was only running it at about 35 gallons a minute today, and it had no problems going through that thick wet grass. It was pretty awesome. Very, very impressed with it. One thing I will say, Sam mentioned this and I was like, what? And then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, let me try it. So when I got Sam in the machine at first, he asked me how I ran, operated the front end, and I said I just bring it up off the ground a little bit, and and then I'm making adjustments to height and angle as I go along as the ground changes, because these skid steers are, the wheelbase on them is so short that any difference in the ground, a hump or a low spot, the machine is going to change, and so the angle of the brush cutter is going to go up and down. So as that happens, you have to make slight adjustments in the height and angle of the brush cutter. And he said, when he got in, he said, do I just put it on float? And I was like, no, you got to bring it up off the ground a little bit. And as I was doing this last little part over here, I was thinking float, and that part over there was fairly flat. I said, well, let me try it. And so I put it on float, where basically when you put it on float, if you're not familiar with these machines, basically you take all the hydraulic pressure out of the arm. And so basically the arm and the weight of the attachment are just laying, on their own weight. And so what that allows that to do is, as you go along, if the brush cutter hits a mound or a hill, it's the arms are automatically just going to go up and down on their own. They're just going to float along. And that worked. It actually did work really good, and it gave a really nice finish on the ground. But you're going to run into two problems if you do that. One, you can tell a noticeable strain on the machine going forward when it's in float, because at that point the machine is trying to push the entire weight of the brush cutter and the arm along the ground, and it slows down the machine, and you can definitely tell it's under significantly more hydraulic strain when you're on float. The second thing is, all of that weight of the arm and the brush cutter are going to be on these skid plates down here, and that's a lot of weight. And it's going to wear, especially if you're in sandy environments like I am here, it's going to wear these skid plates out very, very quickly. So you can do it, but it's going to wear your undercarriage out very quickly, because you're pushing a lot of weight, and it's going to wear those skid plates out very quickly, because all that friction on the ground is just going to wear them down like sandpaper on metal. So you can do it, and it leaves a really nice finish. I would say that's one of those things that I would save for a time when I really need a nice finish along the ground in a spot, and do it selectively. I wouldn't want to do it all the time, because it's going to wear everything out, because it's just a lot of weight and strain on the machine and the brush cutter. But it worked. It did work. It worked really good. There were a couple passes I made with it on float, left a really nice finish, because it got right on the ground and just followed the ground the whole way. Yeah, definitely a little bit more strain on everything and wear, but you can do it. You can definitely do it. That bottom plate with this upper end just allows that thing to just float along the ground. So if it hits a hill or a low spot, it just rolls. And that's because of that design in the front going up like that, gives it that angle. But all in all, very impressed so far. But yeah, I'll do a full review before this thing sends it back. But yeah, that was just a neat little thing I picked up today that I tried out. But this combination between that brush cutter with the motor that's in that thing and this, the power of this machine is really, it's money. That's money, dude. All right, it's Friday. I'm out of here. I'm gonna enjoy my weekend. We'll be back to mowing on Monday. We've got one more about 5 acre lot to go mow, so stay tuned for that, and I will catch you guys later. Bye, everybody.